Well, good evening and welcome to this regular meeting for Tuesday, May 7th. If everybody please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Grigsby here. Mr. Haynes
Here.
Mrs. McCarthy.
Here.
Mrs. Saxon.
Here.
Mr. Baca.
Here. Finalization of the agenda. Is there anything to add or remove?
The agenda is final as presented.
Thank you. We'll move right into the superintendent treasurer's report.
Right, I'm going to go to the podium. Good evening, President Baca and members of the Board of Education. We have a very special award to present tonight, and I'm not going to do most of the talking. I'm going to have Miss Nikki Roth join me up here, who actually is mostly responsible for putting this man in a position to be recognized and honored for the incredible work that he has done, not only on behalf of North Ridgeville City Schools, but the community as a whole. And this man is Mr. Frank Toth, who is here tonight with his wife Carol, and I'm gonna have Nikki take it away.
All righty, thank you. So several months ago, the Ohio School Public Relations Association put out a call for nominations, and one of the award categories is the Friend of Education. And nearly immediately it hit my inbox, and I'm forwarding it and saying, what do you think if we nominate Frank? And it was a couple months later, heard back. And then the plot was on of how are we getting Frank to Columbus for this conference that we are attending. We pulled it off. I'm pretty sure it was a good surprise. But I do want to share with the board and with all of you what was shared that day when we got to surprise him. So from my perspective, it's hard to believe that after being an employee of the district for 22 years, I've only gotten to know this person in less than 2 of them. Yet it seems like someone I've known my whole career. Someone so active and involved that you can't imagine how your paths had not crossed earlier. Baptism by fire is how I affectionately refer to taking on this role in the throes of a giant bomb campaign. And it is in campaigning that you quickly find your people. Being engaged in all things North Ridgeville is not new to this alumni of our high school. But with me being new to my role in communications, I kept bumping into him at various events for both the schools and the city. And Frank is a PR person's dream. We needed someone to man the voter registration table at an event. He's there. Someone to supervise high school students writing postcards. He's on it. For 4 hours, Frank? Sure. Interview with a local TV channel on this crucial bond issue. Not a problem. Volunteer to judge an event. Stand in for a sponsor who couldn't attend the event. Respond to that Facebook post or be at this State of the City address. He does it all. This is in addition to attending every Board of Education meeting twice a month, every month, in person or virtually. And this man is firm in his beliefs. He is steadfast with his commitment to the community, ready and willing to ask the tough questions, quick to lend a helping hand, and a shining example of an engaged alumnus. So that is Mr. Frank Toth in a nutshell. This is the beautiful award he was given down in Columbus, but we wanted to also give him a token of our appreciation a little more locally here. So Frank, if you want to come on up.
That's very nice. Thank you. Yes,
How do you mind share some?
this is a bit overwhelming. Right now. Mr. President, Madam Vice President, members of the board, Superintendent Casario, Treasurer Cassini, members of the administration, staff, or excuse me, members of the board, members of the administration, staff, and guests. Good evening, all. I am grateful and humbled to be the recipient of the Friend of Education 2024 Award from the Ohio Schools Public Relations Association. Being an alumnus of the North Ridgeville City Schools, receiving this award as a community member of North Ridgeville is especially gratifying. I'd like to thank the district's communication team for my nomination. I was led by them to believe a luncheon event held late April was an opportunity to, an occasion to recognize our superintendent. Receiving an award such as this was a complete bolt from the heavens. Well played, ladies. The journey to arrive at receiving this award has been personally very rewarding. The last time I spoke at a board meeting, I mentioned becoming involved with the schools when a bond issue was proposed back in 2019. The education I have obtained since then regarding how the school district funds and operates itself has been enlightening and comprehensive. In addition to this knowledge, I came to recognize another wonderful, more subtle takeaway. Whether it was assembling or distributing yard signs for the bond issues, writing postcards for the successful, or participating in the Amazing Shake or the Future Fair, I was always left with an admiration of the character, dedication of the people employed by our schools. The difference you folks are making in the quality of life for both our students and our residents is palpable. I wholeheartedly believe you are transforming our school district into an education destination, a place where young families seek to reside for the quality of education that their children will receive. This excitement that you all are generating makes it very easy to be both a friend and a fan of education in North Ridgeville. So as a man acutely cognizant of the blessings I have been afforded, I gratefully and humbly thank all of you for your recognition. Ranger Strong for life.
And I know many of you are familiar with the work that Mr. Toth has done here, but I can't say enough about the dedication, the time, the commitment, and the care that he has afforded not only our staff, but our students, and ultimately the community of North Ridgeville. Thank you, Mr. Toth.
Thank you.
Maybe not as exciting, but always a topic of interest. I'd like to invite Mr. Pritt to the podium to talk a little bit about open enrollment.
Let's be honest, I should have gone first.
Thought about it.
Congratulations, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. Also, shout out to our communications team. They have been shy to mention that they received some awards at that same meetings, which I'm sure will be in our next news release. So I am here for our annual report on open enrollment, which we look at every year in determining what to look forward to for next school year. And as we have talked about for the last several years, the number of students open enrolled in our district continues to shrink, quite honestly. You know, as we have run into issues with space primarily in some of our buildings. So when I look as a whole, because I think there's always this perception out here that we are overrun with open enrolled students. We actually have less than 1% of our entire student population is considered open enrollment. So there are about 45 students right now attending this district who could attend a home district. And in a lot of cases, we don't have options in those. So those might be a student who's living with a grandparent, or maybe they're foster placed, or they fall into one of those situations. Of those 45 students, just to give you a breakdown, we have 2 at ECLC. We have 1 at Liberty, 13 here at the Academic Center, which we know is not, near capacity. If we ever look at opening it up bigger, we've got space, in this building where we don't necessarily have ECLC or Liberty. There are 15 at Ranger High Tech Academy. And if you remember, that's really the reason that we kept open enrollment open when we looked at this 6 or 7 years ago. That was at a time to where we were just opening Ranger High Tech Academy. We weren't sure who would have the numbers to fill entire classes. And that's where a lot of those students came from and why a lot of them are still with us today. So there are 15 there, and there are about 20 students at the high school. And I share that number of 20, half of those were students who were former RHTA students. So those are students who have matriculated through, and that's what's got us to this point today. Of those 45, 8 of them will be leaving us in just over 2 weeks. So we've got 8 seniors in that bunch, which again will bring that number of 45 down to something in the 30s. So the recommendation that I have would be the same recommendation I've had for the last couple of years. I would suggest that we continue to allow these open enrollments to continue. And then look very specifically if we have any grade levels which would allow us to add a student or 2. I would not advocate for opening it up and taking everyone. Because we still have that space crunch that we're going to be facing for at least the next 4 to 5 years. So, 4 to 5 years from now, if we're all standing here or sitting here, we can have a different discussion. We have space somewhere. But for the time being, I think we are probably in our sweet spot of allowing these students who are in to matriculate through and just keeping a very close eye to see if we have any space anywhere. So, if you have any questions, you can have it. Thank you.
Thank
Have a great meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Burke. And back with the superintendent's report.
Watch this. Not gonna forget today. Here's an opportunity for hearing of the public. Anybody in attendance would like to address the Board of Education? Now is your opportunity. Okay, seeing none. Any announcements this evening?
Just want to make sure people are aware of Memorial Day parade and ceremony that's coming up on the 27th of this month. A new route this year, starting at our high school and ending at the new Veterans Memorial across the street from the Senior Center on Bainbridge Road. So if you want to come out for that, parade steps off at 9:45. The ceremonies that follow. Our marching band is always there, huge part of our parade. City services. I mean, it's a nice event, and I think the ceremony will be especially nice this year as we open up the new Veterans Memorial.
We'll move into the consent agenda. Ms. Saxon, an education report?
Yes, we have several items for your review and consideration in the education report. First, there are 7 agreements for your consideration. These agreements include KidsLink, Steps Educational, Suburban School Transportation, Theradyne Inc., Murray Ridge Center, the annual Connect Service Contract, and Benchmark Education, all intended for the 24-25 school year. Additionally, we have the updated 24-25 K to participate in the 24-25 school fees. Finally, we have reimbursements in lieu of transportation. This is the first reading for these items. The second reading and consideration for approval will be at the May 21st regular meeting.
Thank you. Communications report, Mr. Grigsby?
Thank you, Mr. Zucca. It is recommended that the Board of Education accept the following gifts with appreciation. A total of $18,540 in grants is being awarded to NRCS staff for the 2023-2024 school year from the Endowment Funds Committee, care of the Lorraine County Community Foundation. Beckett Thermal Solutions will cover all costs totaling $16,000 for Foundations in Personal Finance and Foundations in Entrepreneurship curricula for the next 3 school years. A grill and brake drum is being donated by Haley Bryson to the North Ridgeville City Schools High School Band. $2,630 is being donated by the Athletic Boosters to the North Ridgeville High School golf team to purchase golf jackets. $200 is being donated by the Coca Athletics Company to go towards the North Ridgeville City Schools Adaptable Athletics Program. $250 is being donated by Chipotle to go towards the North Ridgeville City Schools Adaptable Athletics Program. $200 is being donated by the Shaleva family to go towards the same Adaptable Athletics Program. And $440 is being donated by Culver's to go towards the North Ridgeville City Schools Adaptable Athletics Program. A donation of $496 is being donated by the North Ridgeville Band Boosters to the North Ridgeville High School Band. $629 is being donated by the NR Band Boosters to the North Ridgeville High School Choir. $200 is being donated by Sharon Dwiker to the RHTA Art Department and extracurricular activities. $200 is being donated by the Garden Club of North Ridgeville for RHTA for beekeeping. And a geyser tube is being donated by Lee Carver to the staff and students of the Early Childhood Learning Committee to be used for Science Day. As usual, we thank our community for the tremendous support of our schools and students.
Thank you. All right, buildings and operations report. We have 7 items under buildings and operations this evening. The first item is recommended is a recommended price adjustment for student meals for the upcoming school year. Next is the annual renewal of the food service agreement with Aramark. Third item is to provide optional student insurance through Levy Insurance Agency. And again, that is an optional program. Also, it is recommended that Brewer Garrett is approved as the commissioning authority for the new high school construction project. Finally, we have 3 resolutions to consider for the Ohio Facilities Construction Commission. The first is the acceptance of the master's facilities plan. The next resolution is of the intent through the expedited local partnership half-mill maintenance requirement. And finally, there's a resolution for the expedited local partnership program agreement. This is the first reading for these items. The second readings will be May 21st. I don't know about all you, I get excited every time I see something about the high school bill on the agenda. We're moving forward, but yeah, a human resource report, Mr. Haynes.
We have a number of items in the human resources report. 7 support staff substitute contracts, 3 summer assessment contracts, 18 summer school teacher contracts, 2 summer school certified substitute contracts, 1 summer school secretary contract, 9 ESY certified staff contracts, 3 hourly tutor contracts, 11 ESY special education aid contracts, 13 summer technology student employment contracts, 9 certified staff leave of absence, 6 support staff leave of absence. This is the first reading of these items. The second reading and consideration for approval will be at the May 21st regular meeting. This concludes the human resources report.
This concludes the consent agenda. Next, we have other board business, starting with human resources. Mr. Haynes, we'll continue with you.
We have a number of items to consider under human resources report. We have 5 certified staff appointments, 1 hourly tutor contract, 2 support staff substitute contracts, 2 certified staff resignations, 1 non-represented support staff resignation, 7 support staff resignations. I move to approve the human resources items in 1 reading.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Haynes, second by Ms. McCarthy. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Haynes,
Yes.
Mrs. McCarthy,
Yes.
Mr. Grigsby. Yes. Mrs. Saxon,
Yes.
Mr. Vaca.
Yes. All right. All right, this is the exciting part of the meeting. Yes.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, board, for allowing me this opportunity. Congratulations, Mr. Pope. What a nice award for you from all of the work that you've done. I also, too, you talked about the Veterans Memorial. It gives me an opportunity. Our HR specialist, my assistant, has put in a number of hours outside of here volunteering in her many facets in the community, and I've seen pictures of the Veterans Memorial that's going up. It's very, very nice, and it's nice that, you know, the school will be a part of that in this community as well. So I look forward to that. Tonight, I am thrilled to introduce, we have 4 new teachers here with us tonight. We hired 5. Unfortunately, our new speech language pathologist could not be with us this evening, but Amanda Hetrick is coming to us. She received her undergrad at Kent State, her SLP program from CSU, and has been working in the Lorraine City Schools for the last couple of years. So she couldn't be with us tonight, but certainly wanted to mention the expertise that she will be bringing in to our great SLP team that we have. I also think that there is no job that is more important of mine than putting great teachers in front of our kids. And I will tell you that the 4 teachers that I am going to announce tonight are dynamic, excellent educators. I couldn't be more thrilled. Like, I'm so excited about this group, you know, to bring them up. And you can tell that it's hiring season because we do have 4 of them. So I would ask them to come join me up here so that we could. Get you guys pictures as well. Our first one this evening is Katie Lady. Katie is coming to us. She's doing a long-term sub at Avon. We're gonna have to come over here. Come over here, sorry, be on camera. Katie is just had graduated from Ashland this past fall. And she will be joining us at NREC as a fifth grade science teacher. So can't wait for our kids to have the opportunity to have Katie. Katie, the one word that she used to describe herself was spontaneous. So, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
All right, welcome. Rachel McHugh. Rachel is a unique hire. She is coming back to us and returning from the Westlake City Schools, which we are thrilled to have her back. She is one of the best educators that I have had the pleasure of working with previously, and are thrilled and very fortunate to have her back in the North Ridgeville City Schools. One word that Rachel uses to describe herself is driven, and I would agree with that. She is a Dayton Flyer, in the day, and she is going to be joining us at Liberty as an intervention specialist. Kirby Blanton will be joining us in first grade this year. She had spent the last few years at the Kenston City Schools on the east side. She is looking to relocate to the west side, so we are fortunate to bring her into Liberty. Have heard wonderful things about Kirby, and can't wait to have her get started over at Liberty. She is a graduate of the Strongsville City Schools and Penn State University. And she is, the one word that she uses to describe herself is warm, which I think is a great acronym for a first grade teacher. Our last teacher this evening is Allie Moore. Allie is coming to us. She just graduated this past weekend from The Ohio State University. So she was at College Campus this past weekend. And so Allie had a phenomenal interview with us. I will say I've done this for a long time. I have to say, she probably had the best interview that I've ever sat in from a college graduate. So it was great. And the whole team knew that, we wanted her to be part of our first grade team. So we are thrilled to have her. The one word that she uses to describe herself is empathetic. So thank you. Welcome. Contracts. Yeah, please. All right. Make contract. It is official.
It does feel exciting, right?
Thank you. All right, Stevie. Rachel. Okay. All right. Well, as I said before, I couldn't be more thrilled for this team, and I thank you guys for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Well,
Ms. Hostetler, thank you so much for the time that you and the actual entire team in front of all of us puts into this time of year and making sure that we do have the best candidates in front of our students. And I am confident, not only in these four, but all of our hires thus far, and really look forward to continuing to grow our team. So thank you, ladies, for joining us.
absolutely.
So as we celebrate new employees coming to our district tonight, next meeting, we will be celebrating those that are retiring from our district. So we'll have a nice reception for those retirees at 5 o'clock. And our board meeting on the 21st will begin at 5:30, not 6 p.m. as it normally would, because we have some senior parents on the board that will be headed downstairs to a senior recognition night, and hopefully their offspring will be getting some scholarships. Everybody's cheering for that.
Welcome to all of you. We're very excited about having you here at North Ridgeville. Great place, amazing school district. You'll be working alongside some of the most amazing people you could ever hope to work alongside. And our kids are amazing. You're gonna love the North Ridgeville City Schools. So again, welcome. All right, well, it is recommended that the Board of Education enter into executive session to discuss the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, compensation of public employees, and matters related to negotiations of public employees. There will be no action to follow.
Move.
Second,
Moved by Ms. Saxon, second by Ms. McCarthy. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Saxon,
Yes.
Mrs. McCarthy.
yes.
Mr. Grigsby. Yes. Mr. Haynes,
Yes.
Mr. Vaca.
Yes. Now, they told you, we expect to see you guys at every meeting.